Hello and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. This video contains important information from Ripple. Given that the rippling SEC action is still ongoing, I feel compelled to clarify the just disclosed information. Although their business is thriving, Ripple is being sued by a major US authority. I can't wait to find out what happens when we sort this out. I have a feeling that Ripple will make a huge announcement after that occurred today. I recently saw a completely crucial breakdown, and it reinforced my belief that Judge Torres will decide that XRP is not the security in this case. This video is one of the most relevant legal opinions I have read on this topic. I haven't mentioned it yet, but I plan to. In my opinion, this will drastically change the dynamic. Make sure you watch the whole thing to get the reference. Let's start with the breaking news we just heard, happening in the midst of the SEC's Ripple lawsuit. What this means is enormous. In other words, it looks like Hong Kong and Ripple are launching a brand new CBDC venture. Hong Kong will emerge as a global powerhouse. In addition, a CBDC appears to be under construction by Ripple at that site. I did, however, find another tweet from one of their official accounts that makes it clear that payments will be required to use this CBDC. And one of the senior staff at Ripple were both present for this photo. It was really interesting to me. It would seem that the Ripple's industry is developing rapidly. They're releasing huge new products right in the middle of this crisis. I want to work with Ripple because they were terrified of the SEC. While it's true that most governments will take the SEC's word for it if it alleges wrongdoing on the part of a company, what we're seeing now is that other governments recognize XRP and Ripple for what they are, the backbone of our next-generation financial system. This is a bold remark, but we understand that they're just trying to make the financial system better for everyone, and in the meantime, we will comply with them. And if they had a strong and big business Ripple and XRP, they wouldn't take a chance like this, in my opinion. If only this were an experiment, or some other situation in which the results don't really matter. And we'll just have to make up our own approach. This is not something to do for the sake of a good laugh. That has huge implications. And now I'm more convinced than ever that after this issue is resolved, we'll see collaborations that blow our minds in ways we couldn't have imagined. And the fact that they haven't been made public yet is due only to the fact that not every country will be as brave. There will be those who prefer a more conventional lifestyle. Is to publicly announce their involvement with Ripple. I have even more faith in the business strategy now. It's not often that you get the chance to invest in a game-changing product that's gaining institutional backing and widespread adoption but has a BS case manipulating its price. It brings back memories of when I made a huge investment in Tesla stock when the SEC case against them was still ongoing. It was a fraud. Everyone assumed Tesla would eventually shut down. Meanwhile, it merely weighed down Tesla's share price further, letting the surefire quitters get out ahead of any potential rebellion. In my opinion, XRP will follow the similar path. While the SEC lawsuit has garnered the most attention, parallel proceedings have been ongoing. And right now, it's just so exciting. When we win this lawsuit, I'm excited to see who comes forward. However, I recently had a fresh new interview with Brad Garland House. And recently, Ripple has received a lot of attention on CNBC. Since Brad Garland's residence is where I hang out, I thought I'd play you this interview with him. This CEO is among the very best in the business. I'm always eager to show you guys his interviews. I'm interested in whatever he says. This is important, so listen up. Moreover, if you didn't catch my video yesterday, this interview is about Medico, a company that Ripple bought for $250 million lately. And from here on out, I'm turning things over to Brad Garland House. Given the widespread skepticism among investors in the wake of several high-profile crashes in the crypto realm, are you aiming to mitigate the industry's inherent risk and volatility by pouring more resources into its underlying infrastructure? Financial institutions manage and ultimately transact in the future. Tokenized versions of things that we currently think of as tradable will appear in multiple contexts, we believe. Financial institutions must plan for the storage of both current cryptocurrency and any future tokens. Apple's inception, it has prioritized building out essential infrastructure and providing practical answers for paying customers. This is a perfect match for us. In 2020, you had a minor run-in with the SEC. In Switzerland, you found Medico. But not us, no sir. They work there, or so it seems to me. Authorities in the United States are cracking down harder and harder on Bitcoin businesses. Was it a factor? I think it's fair to say that the United States has done all in its power to confuse the Bitcoin industry by obscuring the goals of the laws of the road, and to be very frank, that's why business and investment are leaving the country. Without a question, Europe has gained immensely from the anarchy in the United States. The US Securities and Exchange Commission has been at the forefront of this muddle, and it's unfortunate that they're the driving force behind the increased effort from companies like Ripple. Approximately 95% of our customers are not from the United States. Similar considerations have led us to decide to conduct the bulk of our hiring this year outside of the United States. There were already about 800 employees working with Ripple before the deal. Of Medico's 100 or so employees are based in countries other than the United States, primarily in and around Europe. We see it as a perfect match for both our ideal clientele and the locations of our actual clientele. In light of this, Brad, how do you think cryptocurrencies and supervised cryptocurrencies should be regulated after FTX? Since I think it's a mistake to attribute the FTX incident to a crypto issue, what do you think happened there? I think is a very significant query. And to be really frank, I think the simplest way to characterize what happened with FTX is as an act of fraud. Unfortunately, fraud can affect any market for assets. This problem is not exclusive to the Bitcoin industry. But when I recommended laying up guidelines and setting expectations, FTX already had those things in place. They simply break those regulations, seize the lead in countries like the United Arab Emirates. The rules of the road for digital assets are still being hammered out, but entrepreneurs are finding a foothold in the United Kingdom and Singapore. Because of this, investors like us were able to work productively with authorities. Again, Medico is a perfect fit for Ripple because of the importance it has traditionally placed on infrastructure, enterprise, and working with regulators. Customers of Ripple right now can vouch that all of them are legitimate businesses that adhere to the law. And we're willing to spend $250 million for them, since they share our commitment to the enterprise client, their willingness to work with authorities, and their commitment to operating on a global scale from day one. Before I end this video, I want to talk about a good development that came about as a direct result of the most recent ruling by Judge Torres. Recently. This is, thus, a paraphrase of Judge Torres's words. According to her, ODAL is a crucial part of Ripple's business model. Interesting, because that remark suggests Judge Torres will be cautious to prevent damage to the ODAL product's surface ripples. Given that ODAL is, without a doubt, one of Ripple's most popular items, this appears to be of great significance. Therefore, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, should not classify ODAL transactions as securities transactions and therefore render that product useless. Perhaps even more important is how Judge Torres decides to handle secondary sales in this instance. Bill Morgan says the involved attorney is someone we've talked about on this channel before. He does an excellent job. Goes to of her way to say that ODAL transactions do not violate securities law. She is effectively claiming that XRP itself is not a security. In this way, we can confidently assert that XRP is not a security. In addition, the question of whether or not XRP is a security need not be addressed directly by Judge Torres. Simply put, you can argue that XRP is not a security and that the ODAL transactions enabled by Ripple are therefore illegal. ODL transactions to be securities. Right now. She explains that ODAL is an important part of Ripple's business. She won't make a statement like that before declaring that the product line is no longer available to businesses. There's trouble afoot, Ripple. That's not the kind of Judge Torres is. It looks like we're going to have a tremendous win here. Consequently, XRP is not a security either. Anyway, I greatly value your being here today, gentlemen. I trust you found this update interesting. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. See you in the next video, bye.